A fitness YouTuber who garnered fame for his healthy pranks somehow ended up in the psychwards of LA. Connor Murphy is a 28-year-old YouTuber whom you might know through his shirtless Omegle pranks. At one time, this muscular man was the heartthrob of millions of people. But then, his downward cascade began. From having a jacked-up body at the age of 21 to taking psychedelic, becoming spiritually enlightened, and eventually ending up in the psych ward of LA, Connor's irreversible downfall started in 2016. On January 9th, 2016, Connor uploaded his first YouTube video, in which he shared his fitness journey. After uploading 4 to 5 videos consistently, he opted for a new format, and that video literally popped up. This Omegle prank became his first viral, and it gave him a breakthrough to make much more content. Along with his usual fitness-related vlogs, he occasionally started uploading videos with random Omegle girls. These videos had fun banter, quirky humor, and everything that was needed to make a video viral at the time. Seeing the success of these Omegle videos, he decided to do the same pranks in public. The idea was one of a kind, and it did great.
3 chances to guess the color of my shirt under my jacket. It's the color of my shirt underneath my jacket. And if you get it wrong, then I get your number. One of your numbers, I'm gonna pick you, okay? Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Through these videos, Connor caught the eyes of so many people. He gained enough fame that people could recognize him in public, and young lads began to follow him for his fitness techniques. Eventually, his subscriber count jumped from thousands to a whopping 1 million. But soon after hitting a few virals, his pranks disappeared from the YouTube suggestions tab. His new videos had less effort, and the uploading frequency was inconsistent compared to his older videos. With an average of 200,000 views, YouTube was clearly not a reliable career path for Connor. He decided to make a consistent career on something other than YouTube. And the only thing that would suit his personality was acting, so in pursuit of making a living through acting, he shifted to Los Angeles. From this point on, Connor's body and his entire personality underwent a major shift. The jacked up, jolly guy you would see in old videos had now lost tens of pounds of muscle. The audience noted a drastic change in his body and bombarded his comment section with their questions, to which he replied this.
For those of you guys who are actually wondering why the hell is Connor Murphy's abs looking so shitty, I'm gonna explain it to you. So the number one thing that has to do with how good abs look, all right, is body fat percentage. And over the course of the last few months or whatever, I've probably gained like 1 to 2% body fat. All right, the second thing, man, is lighting. Like, you have seen me in so many different kinds of lighting. It's hard to judge how abs look because the lighting is always so different, man. The worst is possible. That means bad lighting, no pump, and a shitty pose. So we're gonna turn around and get in the shade. All right, Miguel, come over here. So I'm just gonna completely relax. How does this look, Miguel? Does it look aesthetic?
I can't see a single ab.
This is kind of embarrassing to show, man, but this is me in horrible lighting. Now, if I want to make it even worse, I can do something like this. I can stick out the stomach and have an awful posture and an awful pose.
However, his muscle loss was not hidden from other fitness YouTubers. A few of them made videos about it and hinted that he might have stopped taking steroids. Connor, being a fitness freak, bulked up again and gave hundreds of acting auditions, but couldn't get a worth-mentioning gig. In late 2019, the world was hit with COVID-19, and every state went into lockdown, including the US. It was the time when Connor resumed his Omegle pranks, and he went back to making content from his bedroom.
Okay, I'll show you. Okay, ready?
He did make 2 to 3 Omegle videos, but this time YouTube trends were different. The audience was less interested in Omegle content, so Connor couldn't cross over 1 million views. As soon as the lockdown lifted, he again hit the streets and did what he was known for. He went on the streets, took off his shirt, and interviewed women. Unlike old times, this idea didn't work much. He again disappeared from YouTube. And then, on one fine day, Connor uploaded a video titled, "Goodbye."
What is happening? I've gone literally mentally fucking insane over the past few days. I don't understand. I'm at my mental breaking point.
In that video, he not only talked about his mental state, but also gave hints that he might end his life.
I know exactly how to do it. I realize why the bathtub feels so amazing, because it's trying to tell me something. It's trying to reach out and say you can be at peace here in the bathtub. You just have to go through a little pain beforehand.
The video was a cry for help. He revealed his address and asked people to come out and help him. His YouTuber friend Brett Maverick was among the very first people who saw that video.
So eventually Connor posted a video titled Goodbye, in which he basically insinuated that he was going to end his life. When I saw this, I immediately called the police and drove over to his house, to which he was nowhere to be found.
The cops caught him and got him admitted to the psych ward of UCLA Hospital. The psychiatrist diagnosed him with either bipolar disorder or induced psychosis. Connor spent 2 weeks in the psych ward, and after coming back, he made an explanatory video on why he made that video and the purpose behind it.
So a few days prior to making that video, I engaged in this spiritual ceremony where I took this mind-altering substance known as ayahuasca. This is a very powerful substance, and it caused me to act much differently than I normally would. I was not myself for a while after I took it. It caused me to think and act very different.
He later added that the video was just an act to grab the attention of producers, but the adverse effects of ayahuasca trapped him to say all those things. But if you take a bird's eye view of all the videos that he uploaded during that period, you'd notice one thing. He starts all the videos like a normal person in his right mind, but then he dives into discussions like existential crisis, spiritual ramblings, and enlightenment.
God damn it! All your judgment comes from your own goddamn insecurities.
Although, before starting these videos, he did say that it's just an act. But whatever it is, it's really concerning. And what his YouTube friends saw inside his house was also enough to predict that these videos were not just acting auditions. He's really going through some mental conditions. On May 24th, 2021, Micah uploaded a video titled, "We Went to Save Connor Murphy." What he showed and experienced while filming that video perfectly showcased his mental state. Every corner of his house was cluttered, and he barely had food. Micah helped clean his house and got him groceries. However, Micah was not the only friend who tried to help him. Connor KO went on Instagram Live with Connor and asked him to come over to his place.
Honestly, I will book you a flight here right now. Will you hop on a plane if I book you a flight out here?
Despite having a helping hand from the YouTube community, Connor couldn't get back to his right state of mind. His spiritual rambling and so-called enlightenment led him to do more vicious stuff. In one video, he Zoom called his parents and gave them a lecture on being spiritually enlightened. The video was titled, "Failing to Enlighten My Parents." He did fail to enlighten them, but one thing that didn't fail to happen was concern on his parents' faces. At the time when he made these videos, he was on that part of the ayahuasca trip where he thought he was God and he could enlighten anybody by simply talking about happiness and the true meaning of life, heaven, and death. But in reality, nobody could have ever enlightened anybody in this way. In a few of his videos, he called himself God, and then he rambled about everything that a sane mind would never think of speaking out.
Okay, so I am God. I'm God, yeah.
Connor's God complex, posing himself as an open book, and then starting his weird question forced Adam from Psych Substance to say this about him. Connor has been to the psych ward several times, and if his Instagram is accurate, then he's also escaped from it.
I made it out. I'm out of the psych ward. I'm out of the psych.
As of now, he's back to making content, but his view count barely crosses 100 or even 50,000. His audience is still concerned about his mental health, and they fear that if he doesn't get proper medical help, he might end his life, like another YouTuber, Etika.